What they don't want you to know about Project 2025. Hello, everyone. Hola, mi gente. My name is Jannette, and this is When the Shift Hits. Project 2025 isn't a theory. It is a blueprint to dismantle democracy. And you need to know what's inside of it so you can understand their playbook. Project 2025 is a real policy agenda created by the Heritage Foundation and over 50 so-called conservative organizations. Despite the president claiming that he knew nothing about Project 2025, his administration is largely led by Project 2025 writers and or contributors. Some examples are Stephen Miller, who is the president of the America First Legal Foundation, a legal attack dog nonprofit for right-wing causes. America First Legal was listed as a supporter of Project 2025 and appeared as a member of the project's advisory board, though the group then asked to be removed from it because of the optics during the election cycle. But make no mistake about it, Stephen Miller is now serving as the 12th United States Homeland Security Advisor and White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. He is the driving force behind the current immigration policies and this entire iced shite show. Carolyn Leavitt, the current White House press secretary, she appeared in training videos for Project 2025. Russell Vaught, a principal author of Project 2025, now directs the Office of Management and Budget. He wrote a chapter outlining plans to overhaul the executive branch and refocus federal agencies to serve the president's agenda. And who can forget Peter Navarro, who actually took it for the team and actually did time for this president. He was selected to be his senior counselor for trade and manufacturing. Jokes, right? How is our stock market doing? It's crashing. And what about all these tariffs? Literally, we went worldwide with this, and it makes absolutely no sense. On one day, off another, delayed another time. It's a shite show, people. In his section of the policy roadmap, Navarro outlined a plan to raise tariffs on the European Union, China, and India to balance the U.S. trade deficit. Brendan Carr, the senior Republican on the Federal Communications Commission, he wrote Project 2025's FCC chapter. Coinky dinky? And John Ratcliffe, you should recognize his name. He's the new CIA director, and he was a contributor to Project 2025. He was interviewed for the project, and excerpts of his interview became part of a chapter on the intelligence community. Interesting, because Ratcliffe was part of the Signal national security debacle, where they shared war plans over an unsecured app. And just like him, there's many more. Project 2025 authors and contributors are deeply embedded in the current administration's cabinet positions and policies, proposing giving the president near total control over independent agencies. You only have to look at the Department of Justice with Pam Bundy acting like she is the president's personal attorney. You also have the CDC, EPA, and more. Project 2025 also aims to roll back women's rights. Look at the SAVE Act. Listen, they're not saving anyone. What they're doing is they're undermining married women's voting rights by making it more difficult for them to prove their identity. They're wanting a married woman who changed their last name to their spouse's. They want their identification to match their birth certificate. Last time I checked, we weren't born married. So I'm not really sure what this is about, but they're essentially making it more difficult for women to vote. I'm going to do a whole other video on this topic alone, and I'm going to provide some steps to take to get ready in case this becomes the law. The House already passed it, and it's on its way to the Senate. So who knows? But we all need to be aware of these attempts at our civil liberties and our civil rights and our voting rights so that we can take action ahead of time and be able to, pivot and still vote and still contribute and still make changes. They're also trying to roll back LGBTQ plus rights, climate protections, and even regulate how schools teach U.S. history, which is essentially erasing history. We're just going to tell the good parts, right? So here's a call to action. Just today, Google Project 2025 PDF and just read the table of contents. That's going to be your first red flag. If a topic calls your attention then and you want to read it, then read it. and go more in depth. But for today, all I'm asking you to do is just read the table of contents, because that is enough to give you a bird's eye view of the magnitude of dismantling that they are proposing. And comment below if you want me to break down a specific section, and I will do my best to cover it in upcoming shows, okay? Now, I told you guys that I'm changing my format a bit, and I still want to talk about the issues, which I just did. Want to bring issues and topics that are political, that are relevant to you and that may affect you. So because I think information is power and you need to be aware. The second part is the call to action, because I feel like once we hear information like this, we get really stressed out about it and we become anxious. So the best antidote for anxiety is action. Doing something, being part of the solution. And then lastly, we're going to do our spiritual self-care anchor. Okay, so let's end this segment with a self-care exercise. Understanding that self-care is an act of resistance. If you're not driving and if you're not operating heavy machinery or anything like that, please close your eyes real quick. Take a deep breath through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Let's take another one. And now let's put your hand over your heart. Just put it on your chest, over your heart. Okay. You feel that? That's your heartbeat. And that is your reminder that freedom lives inside you first. And no one can legislate your light. Until the next time, my name is Jannette. Thank you for watching When the Shift Hits. And the shift is you, because when you shift, so does everything around you.